showing your art prices is not a good idea. And here's every reason why. Because while this is standard practice, as you watch me draw this today, learn every reason why this is holding you back, why you're not making more money, and why this is going to be the major chokehold on your art business and your growth. And I know you got a lot of fears around this, so let's tackle all of them. So the reason why I want to make this video for you today is honestly prompted from this video right here that I made last month. And it was all about why you shouldn't use commission sheets and why you shouldn't show your pricing. And I gotta be honest with you, if you haven't seen that or you haven't watched it and then read the comments, people went bananas. And please do me a favor, if you are an artist that has successfully removed their prices and you're now doing better, please sound off in this comment section. Because y'all that are younger artists or newer to the freelance market, you need to hear this. You need to hear it from people that are not just me. I think the big problem surrounding this is a lot of people think that if you remove your prices, if you don't display it with them, then you're being dishonest, then you're being sneaky, then you're being shady, you're some type of a snake. But just to oppose all that, this is actually the sign of a professional, and clients respect that. But we'll talk about the ones that don't as we go through this. If you've never met me before, by the way, I'm Dr. Sean. Welcome to the Art Mentor. And so as we go through this video, I want to tackle every single fear that you have around this because you are losing tons of money in thinking that you have to do it this way. So right at the outset, just to put it all forefront for you, you are probably confused on, okay, well, how do I get people to buy my stuff if I don't show them my pricing, if I don't advertise with it, if I don't slap out a commission sheet when I get asked, how much is this? And again, I used to do this too. I used to only sell my artwork for $35. And so I understand your reservations from a very personal level. And so let me just make this very clear. You need to have a conversation with somebody before you even think about having any type of a pricing conversation with them. They are not the same. They are two different sets of conversations. I'll go through them both in this video and tell you the advantages of why you need to adopt this practice too. And that brings up a lot of reservations about having conversations with people and that you might be coming off salesy. And so let me just go ahead and put this out for you. The amount of work you will put in to dehumanizing the process is the number one reason why you will not make more money short-term and long-term. Because the greater philosophy that I would like to present you with is this: humanization equals your monetization. In other words, the more that you humanize the entire process, the less transactional that this feels. As we're gonna go through this in every single other advantage, the more that people are going to like you, return to you, and they're gonna wanna pay you more money. The more that you avoid actually being a human being and having this less feel like somebody buying a big gulp at 7-Eleven, the more that this is going to help you. And again, if you're doing this, if you're already in this practice of showing your prices, or if you're just starting out, okay, I'm not putting you down. Like I've been there, I've done all that too. And I wanna help you understand what is the next level, because you are not going to get to the next level by you staying at exactly where you're at right now. And every single time you're like, oh no, this won't work, I'm gonna bring all those up today. Moving on, I kind of want to validate and also bring up a lot of defenses that I know that you're gonna have about this particular practice. And so when I take a look at my comment section from that video, what I tend to notice is that there's two exclusive camps of people. And it's very interesting. Like I see comments like this, and then I see comments like this. And so what I observed is that the two groups of people are people that have done this and their business is doing fantastic and it's skyrocketed. And then there's also a bunch of people that are totally afraid of doing this. And nobody in between. There's like a few people that are like, oh, maybe I could do this. That middle part, that's where I wish that you existed right now, because nobody told me this. And so my greatest question I want to ask you is this: if you're thinking about selling your art and being a freelancer, and you're thinking that this is going to be greater than a 3-month endeavor, do you want to listen to advice from people that have had success with it? Or is it more valuable for you to go ahead and follow the people that are honestly doing burnout practices? They're pricing themselves really cheap. They are so low that they're trying to compete with a market that's undercutting each other, that they are not attracting clients based on their artwork. They're attracting clients based on their prices. Again, you can talk to people that have done this And they'll tell you every reason why and every advantage of why this actually works. And I'm saying this to you as somebody who's been freelancing for over a decade. It's your choice which camp you want to listen to. But if I was in your shoes, I'd probably want to listen to somebody that's done it. And by the way, as I'm going through this is without social media. If you have a great social media following, good for you. You can throw out all my advice because, to be honest, you should show your prices if you have a massive social media following, because at that point, you're not trying to attract clients, you're trying to weed them out. But that's not you, is it? So don't follow that practice. Social media bends the rules. Next, I want to bring up this topic because this is the most recurring objection that came up in so many comments and in so much feedback. And it was this bad boy right here. A lot of people are saying that they think that by not displaying their prices, that they don't appear trustworthy, that they want to build trust through showing their prices, that they want transparency. Can I just put this out there? That's a very weird concept. Because if you're thinking and you're somehow misaligning this idea that trust equals showing prices, that's not true. And I'll give you several examples later on in this video on how that's actually not how most businesses work that are in similar fields to art. But let me just put this out there. If somebody is only going to buy you for your prices, how does that build a relationship with them? Instead, if I have a conversation with somebody, I'm talking like a 5-minute, non-salesy, very casual conversation, as I always encourage people to do. I'm gonna build engagement. I'm gonna build an actual relationship with them. You thinking that you have to show your prices equals trust, that's not true. Like, just imagine this here. Imagine that you went on a date and literally in the first 5 minutes of that date, the person sitting across from you told you exactly how much their wedding will cost, exactly how many kids that they want, and exactly what type of career that they expect you to have. You probably would not want to go on a second date. And so again, if we humanize this process, and just to be clear with you, just so that there's no confusions, I'm also telling you that you should not advertise your stuff without prices, and then somebody DMs you and says, how much? And you go, here you go, right there. That's also not a conversation. You need to qualify them and ask them questions about their project. Through doing that, you actually build a great human connection, and that is what clients expect, especially higher paying ones. If you know somebody right now that does not have a social media following, and they also are able to go ahead and advertise their prices with $300 plus commissions, please go ahead, look me up, go ahead and DM me on any of my socials and show me it, because I know they don't exist. The next reason why I want to encourage you to do that is because you're actually going to be able to build something sustainable for you. You're going to be doing something that you're proud of. You're going to be able to get pricing that actually makes you smile and other people in your life smile too. And if you want to learn more about how to do that, go ahead and hit that like and subscribe, because I'm here every single week pushing out content like this, expecting nothing from you. But if you could do that, that would be the best. And if you want to share this with somebody that you know so that they can do better too, that would be excellent as well. Thanks so much. All right, let's get into this next topic. And I saw a decent amount of people, and especially clients, coming in to the conversation, which was interesting and I never expected. And I kind of want to expose the reality of who these people are that are saying this, that are saying that clients are going to look you over if you don't do this. If you put up a post and it doesn't have pricing, oh no, look, they're just going to ignore you. Can I just go ahead and just keep this simple for you? If you're afraid of clients looking you over, can I just be honest? They're already doing that. Even you putting out your pricing, you're being looked over by hundreds, if not thousands, of potential art clients anyways. The difference here is that if you have a conversation with them, you're putting a lot of value into them saying no to you. But just to be real, they're saying no to you silently hundreds or thousands of times anyways. Rejection is a part of the process. It's not something that you're supposed to avoid. It's something that always happens. And if you're somebody that's like, well, Sean, I'm so afraid that somebody's going to say no to me, or what if clients say no? They're going to say no because they already do. They're just not telling you that. You hearing that is what you put too much value on. But in any sales process, In any business endeavor, you're going to get people that will say no. Your ability to persist and to be successful is literally determined on how well you can get over that and realize it's not a big deal because you're being rejected thousands of times a day anyways. Next, I want to explain to you how you having a conversation with somebody is mutually beneficial to you both. And here's the number one reason, is that you're starting off your relationship with your clients on a non-transactional level. It's not surface level. Again, it's not somebody DMs you and says how much and you go, boom, there's my pricing right there. And it's not them locking onto your prices because you put up your commission sheet with it on there. What it does instead is it develops a mutual connection because you are going to, through learning about their project, through asking them about what they have in mind, through seeing what references that they have, or picking their brain about something that you think that you could do as well, and demonstrating excitement for that. That's the key ticket to you helping somebody understand why you are the best artist for them. Why your experience, why your pricing that you'll eventually get to at the end of that conversation is actually going to make a better fit for them. Y'all, I remember this so well, and this was pretty recent. It's actually during this artwork that you're watching me draw right here. And so for making this book cover, I remember that the client actually told me that they kind of laughed off somebody that charged $500, and that was too much for them. And so I had that moment where I was like, oh, geez, well, I'm screwed here. And so I actually decided to just, no, let's see what happens. And I went through the process and I talked to them, I made them excited, and I got a chance to learn about them and where they want to go with it. And this took like 5 minutes. It's not a long conversation. And then I tossed out my price tag, which was 4 figures, and they said yes. I put it out into partial payment plans. We completed it, and it was fantastic. And they're so happy with the product. That would not have happened if I just said, boom, it's this much. See, the thing that we don't often think about it enough is how this needs to be a mutual fit for both of you. Because what you're potentially doing is weeding out people that you don't want to work with. That's also, by the way, for the same reason why, not only for my art, but also my art mentorship program, I also don't advertise my pricing because I am very interested in understanding the person who wants to work with me and if I can serve them and if we are a good personality fit before they go ahead and pay me. I could be, again, somebody who just has a price tag out there, they pay me, and then we get into it, and I'm like, oh my God, it's such a drag. And I'll tell you, I've actually gone through conversations with people where I'm like, I don't really think this is gonna happen. Like I've had people that say, oh, Sean, well, can I just text you and we can talk like that? And I'm like, no, because I need to see the little intricacies of our interactions that helps me help grow your business and grow your art. And if you want to learn about my art mentorship program, by the way, go ahead and check out the description. And there's a link right there. You can learn all about it, how it's helped loads of artists just like you too. But that human element, that human interaction, that is your key monetization point. You have to make sure you're going to be paired with the right person. Otherwise, you're going to be paired with hell. Moving on, this is one of the biggest issues that I see with artists, and I used to get trapped into this mode of thought too. And it's that we think like an artist, okay? You make a commission sheet because it looks all awesome and jazzy and flashy, and you think it's gonna attract people. It doesn't. It just attracts them to your prices more obviously than others. You think that, well, I wouldn't spend this much, so therefore, how could I ask anybody to spend this much? Listen, y'all, I've never paid $1,000 for artwork. I've never even paid $100 for artwork, if I'm being honest. But I've been paid thousands of dollars for art. And that's through this method. Maybe you need to start there. Maybe you need to go ahead and get your feet wet and then jump into this process. That's okay. But you are going to hit a hard floor of about $100 to $200 is where people are going to stop buying you for your prices. And then you need to evolve. And so what I started to open up my mind to as I started to look outside of the art selling space, and I started to take advice from people that would do high ticket sales. And I started to take a look at people that were selling courses and classes. And I started to take a look at people who were super successful, like not making a couple $100 a month, but were able to make millions of dollars in sales a month. And how did that work? How do I do this, at least at a smaller level? I wish I was making millions of dollars a month, but how do I filter that into my art processes? And this is what I arrived at. And then I realized There's a lot of artists that do this too, like thousands of them. And I've helped train hundreds of people just like you through doing videos like this as well. And so what you want to do is stop thinking about you. Stop thinking about why this won't work for you, or why you can't do this, or why you wouldn't pay this, or what your doubts and fears are. Put yourself into the client's seat, because probably no one's ever told you this, but they're going to, through your service, wire a stranger somewhere in the world some amount of money, and they're just going to hope that you actually follow through. Have you ever thought about that for a second? Because there's an enormous amount of trust, and you are not going to build big time trust in a big time bank account off of you doing small time practices like displaying your art pricing. You have to put yourself into their shoes and make them feel confident and make them feel like they can trust you, because through having a conversation and adopting this non-display of pricing practice like I'm suggesting for you, that's how you do it. Next, what I want to also address from my last video are comments such as these that basically are from clients. And I just want to go ahead and put a label on this and expose to you like who is making this and why I would say that you should reject it. Because in all of those comments, there's one singular truth coming through. Every single one of these clients are cheap clients. Every single person that is coming in as an art buyer objecting to you not displaying your prices is somebody that honestly you don't want to work with long term. And maybe you want to start there. That's okay. That's okay. I did too. I did that for a while. And then I learned I had to do better. I had bigger goals, I had bigger ambitions. And if you're like me too, this is what you have to realize and wake up. You can't please everybody. You're not a taco. You are not going to be able to reach everybody. Not everybody is going to be able to afford you. Not everybody is going to be able to pay you what you want. That doesn't mean that there aren't plenty of people that will pay you what you want. And the loudest people in the room, like the people that made those comments, are also the cheapest people in the room. And that's our fault because we train them. Now it's our job to go ahead and adopt better practices that serve you better and serve them better, because there are loads of industries that work exactly like this, where you can't get a price until you discuss it with somebody. And so if you're afraid of losing them, if you're afraid of not attracting them, that's the way it's supposed to be. Now I want to bring up this topic, and it's going to revolve what's going to happen during your conversation. And let's say that you go through everything I'm saying, you do it exactly the way I outline it, and then you get that person that is nasty to you. You get that person that's like, what? I'm not going to pay that. You think your art's worth that? How much? No, I know this artist over here that will do it for this much. And so let me ask you this. If they're that nasty about your prices, what do you think your experience with them is going to be like? Again, if you're going to keep yourself priced low by getting bottom of the barrel pricing, you're also going to get bottom of the barrel clients. And they're going to treat you like you belong in the bottom of the barrel. And in that circumstance, let's just go through, like, that's the worst case scenario. What do you do? How do you handle that? Some people are afraid of that happening. Y'all, I'll tell you, like, I've literally only had one person in the last 10 years that's ever said that to me. And do you know what I did? I said nothing. You can delete their DM. You can block them. I've had people that say, oh, well, that's way higher than I thought. And I just kindly responded to them, well, hey, I've been doing this a long time and I have a good quality of my art, and that's what I charge. That's what I'm able to get. Are they going to cancel you? I've heard that excuse before. What if they try and cancel you? They won't. They're a loser anyways if they really want to go through that process. And honestly, unless you're popular, nobody cares about you anyways. And so if somebody is going to go ahead and reject you and be a jerk about it, you just save yourself time. Like, that's a blessing the way I see it, because then that way, that just proves that they're also not the right person to work with, but you wouldn't have known that if they just bought you for your prices. Next, I want to encourage you as far as why this is going to work and why I really want you to do well. Like, I mean this from the bottom of my heart, y'all, because I wish I knew this 10 years ago. I wish I knew this when I felt like I was hitting that wall, when I was hitting that ceiling where I just couldn't push my prices up anymore, where I felt like there was something I could do and I wanted to do and I wanted to hit these goals. But this practice, it just wasn't helping it. and it's not going to help you too. And again, I'm being very clear on you. If you want to make over $1,000 a month, which you can, by the way, that's very, very manageable. It's very realistic, regardless of what some other people online might be telling you. I'm going to tell you how it is. That's totally realistic for you to be able to do. You can't continue to adopt this practice of selling your pricing. I learned that in order to get better results, I have to try different methods. You doing exactly what you're doing right now, at best, is going to land you exactly where you are right now in the next 6 months, year, 5 years down the road. And the only thing different is that you're going to be that much older with nothing more to show for it, or a slightly increased rate of return. But you can do better than that. And as far as people that will object to this, and again, our clients that want to go ahead and tell you that you're too expensive or that they'll never buy you without actually seeing your prices first, here's what I want to offer you instead. You can't argue with broke. And I literally said this to somebody in my mentorship the other day. They had a potential commercial client and they're doing fantastic. They're making like thousands of dollars a month. And they presented to me what this potential commercial client wanted to pay them. And it was like 1/10 of what they were worth. And he said to me, well, Sean, I'm thinking about reaching out to them and trying to negotiate. And I literally said, I wouldn't. You can't argue with broke. Like, you literally cannot make them pay that much more if they want to only pay that much. It's not worth it. You're gonna find other people. And you know what? They did. And they use this method. And again, if you've been successful with this in the past, if you've removed your prices and started to initiate this version of it, sound off down below, because artists that are afraid to need to hear this from people that are more veteran just like you. Now, I know what you're going to say around now, which is that if you haven't said it in the comments and you made it this far into this video, that, this can't work. There's no way that art could actually happen like this. But here's what I'll offer you several examples of. There are plenty of businesses that work exactly like this. For example, you can't call up a mechanic and go, hey, my car goes putt, 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 putt. How much? No, they need to ask you about the make, the model, where it is, how is it driving, is it drivable? They need to ask you a series of questions before they go ahead and try to quote you a ballpark. If you wanted to go ahead and put on a brand new addition to your house, you can't just look on their website and say, how much for sunroom? It doesn't work like that. If you wanted to remodel your bathroom, you can't look online or call up somebody and say, how much bathroom? It doesn't work like that. They'd have to get to know it. What materials, how big, or what finishes are you looking to get? These are all examples of businesses that exist without prices displayed anywhere. You will never find a contractor that actually displays their prices. And you, my friend, you are a creative contractor, and you need to present yourself as a luxury item, not an economy item, because you don't want to be an economy artist. Trust me, I've been there. It doesn't feel good. And what I think a lot of people don't understand from the other side of the table is that this is what rich art clients expect. This is what wealthier art clients expect that will pay more money. But nobody's ever told you that. But I will in this video right here, so go ahead and go check it out. If this helped you, please share with somebody that you know. Thanks so much and see you next time.